Hey everyone, so today we're here to see a gentleman by the name of Abdullah, and Abdullah owns The Dungeon, which is around the corner. The Dungeon is a power building gym. Now, as you can see by my physique, I haven't done much power building or any sort of like big lifting in my time, but I've heard that he is both kind, will help me out, and he's also a really impressive entrepreneur who runs loads of other businesses. So I'm hoping to get a bit of lifting advice and a bit of business advice as well. Let's see how we get on, eh? The Dungeon. I should really stand there like this, shouldn't I? Like, right, should we go inside? Let's have a look. How are you, bro?
How's everything, brother? Nice to see you, nice to see you.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited. We'll head upstairs.
Very simple place.
Yeah.
It's very dungeony. So the whole theme of power building is just mixing powerlifting and bodybuilding. So we're trying to get a strong big guy. I mean a big guy and being strong too.
Yeah.
So we're mixing whatever strength is in the powerlifting community and getting the nice physique conditioning from bodybuilding community and putting them all together.
Oh, so you're show and go.
Exactly. Because what I've seen, a lot of big guys, they can't lift. And it's really sad. When it comes to making making a nice physique, strength isn't main thing.
It's hypertrophy, right?
Yeah, it's hypertrophy, yeah. You need to know how the biomechanics work.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of aspects that goes into a good physique. Strength isn't part of that. There's a fun part of lifting heavy weights. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a fun part.
You get a dopamine when you like, let's say sometimes you do a deadlift of 7 plates. It may not be ideal for hypertrophy, but after finishing that, you see like, I can sleep well tonight. Communicating with each individual is just, this is the art of bodybuilding, art of coaching. Like you know how this guy will have adherence, you know how this guy will have adherence, and then you just go with the flow. And then, but you're still sticking to your basics, like calories in, calories out at the end.
It is, and you can't change the law of physics. Right? And I think that's interesting because it doesn't matter how rich you are, how influential you are, physics doesn't care.
Exactly.
It doesn't care.
It doesn't
right?
care, yeah. Can I buy calories?
Yeah. Can I buy this? And the answer is no, you
can't.
So would you be okay with showing me a couple of lifts?
Of course.
Do you mind if I just change my t-shirt?
Yeah, of course, bro.
I'll just change it here.
No worries.
So Abdullah's given us some V60 cold. I haven't been having coffee recently because PractiCal's keeping me pretty busy and I'm trying not to get wired. However, maybe now's the time to get wired. Bottoms up. Oh, they do physique stuff here. Nice.
Our manager, she from South Africa.
How are you, bro?
How are you, man?
I'm Chris. How are you?
Nice to meet you, Chris.
This is my first power building session, right?
Qualified Menno Hanselman coach in the Dungeon.
I suddenly feel small. This is great. Can I stand next to you? I'm twice his age. Right.
So we start with the bench press. So this one has an arch where you can go more range of motion. Yeah, you can go more in a stretch position.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it's just aligned with your pecs, so that it can be more like a neutral press.
Oh, so you can decide on which grip you want to use. You're ready to be blown away.
Like just making sure you're retracting your scapula and then you're fine.
Do you do any PT anymore? But you don't do any, right?
I don't do one.
I'm getting PT by the boss. The stabilization of it's quite.
Yeah.
So I reckon I'll be at go to failure within 5 reps of this.
I think around 10 is gonna be 10, 12 is gonna be. I think.
You think I should do 10?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so I've got that on record. The man thinks I should do 10. I'm scared. I feel like I'm at the dentist.
Up. Push.
I can't, damn it!
4 and 3/4.
4 3/4, exactly. I'm tired, man. This is some West Side Barbell vibes. Am I right in the aim of this is that because the weight continues to basically, it gets heavier and heavier the higher you press out? Because obviously that's easier than the first bit. Yeah, it's like bands, but more like Iron Man.
This moves, then the center of gravity is
Changes.
different. Depending on where you want the weight to take you.
Oh, so sometimes it's going to pitch you forward, sometimes it's going to pitch you back.
If it pitch you forward, then you're forced to do more quads.
Yeah.
If it goes back, more hinging, you know.
That's really interesting.
That's a feeder set.
Yeah, so how many reps?
Feeder set is usually just testing your body before. Let's say I think I'm gonna do 160 kgs. I'm gonna do a feeder of 100.
Yeah.
And then just feel my body.
See how it feels, right?
Feel my knees, feel everything. Am I connected with the movement or not? And then that is when I decide I'm going to my working set. Yeah.
I'm feeling that mind-muscle connection. So I'll try for the 100.
Yeah.
If not, I can always back off.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So this is 100 kgs, right? And if I fail this, it's not because I'm weak. It's because there's a new technique for me and I'm nervous. All right. How do you spot a nervous client on one of these? Do you do the whole
So I prefer two people in this.
All right, okay. I'm actually really, really nervous.
So come on. Push.
Hey, that felt. I'm putting it up to do one more.
Yeah, go ahead. Come on, one more. Easy. You do the dead stuff. That means so easy. Push.
That's enough of that. Rehabilitating myself after this. Are you impressed now?
I am.
He's impressed. What's your max lift in this one? What would you do as a sort of heavy set?
Maybe 4 of the reds.
4 reds. What are these 20s?
25.
Oh, so 4 as in 2.
No, 4.
Are you joking? I mean, I'm 38, so I must have been. I've probably been under a barbell before you were born.
Yeah,
I was under a barbell before you were born, bro. What's the peak ideal powerlifter or power building age? Do you need time to let them old muscle in? Are you a 30-year-old? What's the optimum age?
Yes, there is genetics that plays a role. Like some people get that maturity kicking in very early.
Yeah.
But let's just give a generalized age range. I'd say in the 30s. Because you'll be very experienced in the lift itself.
Right.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a while now, so you're in that skill you'll be really good. And then in terms of what I've seen around me, that age, the maturity of your muscles is
it's better
at its peak. Yeah.
Well,
even bodybuilders who win bodybuilding shows are late 30s.
because they've had times, old muscle. They call it farmer's strength in the UK. You've been just it's old.
It's
old,
yeah. It's old.
And you've been carrying it for a long time.
Exactly.
You're not just.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting us to the gym.
Thank you.
And thank you for seeing my reps. That's really good. Yeah, the dungeon, power building.
Yes.
One of the things that I should say, after being in a place like that, seeing guys with bodies like that, is that when you eat, it is massively important to have a balanced diet and balanced food in a meal, aka a significant amount of protein, decent amount of carbs, and decent amount of fats. That's because all of the macros do a certain thing for the body. Your carbohydrates are providing you with energy. Fats are helping you recover, and your proteins allowing you to rebuild that muscle tissue that you've broken down, and hopefully, if you get the loading right, rebuild you bigger and stronger. The mistake a lot of people make is that they train hard, but they don't eat smart. When people say to me, what's a macro balanced meal? I'll say it's a meal that has exactly the right balance of carbs, proteins, and fats to allow you to train and recover and improve. That's what we're aiming to do. But we're also aiming to do it with every food, every meal under the sun. And that's what I'm heading back to the office to do now. Onwards and upwards.